I will call this December 18th regular school board meeting of the Giles County School Board to order. If everyone could please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make that motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right.
You want me down front for presentations, please? At this time, as we've done each year, we would like to recognize our student artwork and Christmas card winners from each of our schools. We have certificates to present to them. We also have a little goodie bag to present to them as well. And we'll kind of talk about what's in each goodie bag when we give it to them. But first, we would like to, from Mason McClarity, recognize Jake Santala. If you come forward, please, Jake. Congratulations, good job. We'll give that to you. I'll let him in. This is for you too. Got it? Good job. Good job. There's a little artwork. There is a Christmas card. Each of the students' artwork was put on the Christmas card that we sent out as a county to all the other school divisions, state Department of Education. So right there is our card with each of the students' work on it. And so every one that we sent out, that's what we sent out. Each of the bags has the individual students' artwork on a Christmas ornament that they can hang on their tree as well. So that's what's in the bag for them. Next, we would like to recognize from Nares Elementary Middle School, Aubrey McGuire. And from Eastern Elementary Middle School, we would like to recognize Jolton Ellis. And we're going to get your picture. So if you would, sit your bag right behind you and open up your certificate and show your artwork so they can see it in the picture. How's that?
Oh, yeah.
All three. 1, 2, 3. One other. All three. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Good.
Everybody have one?
Yay. Turn around and flash them. We got to see them on your postcards.
Show the board members
Yeah,
some
let's look
pictures
at
too,
them because
please.
we can.
You guys did a great job on that.
Very nice job.
Great.
Very nice job. Thank y'all. Great job.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations. Good job. Good job. Good job. At this time, we would also like to take the opportunity to recognize our school transportation employee of the month and our school nutrition employee of the month. Our school transportation employee of the month for December was Mark Gibbons, and our school nutrition employee of the month was Mary Kim Stafford Thompson. So congratulations to them for that.
Thanks, sir.
Next, we would like to do the educational feature. We have representatives from Giles Technology Center and from Giles High School. I assume Giles Tech Center is going first. So, Mr. White, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you introduce who you have here with you this evening. Please.
Good
Good evening, everybody. Appreciate y'all giving us the opportunity to come and speak to y'all about some of the stuff going on in the tech center. We have Mr. Derek Snyder with the Precision Machining program, and I'll let him introduce students to you. They're going to talk a lot about some new equipment that we received. Mr. Snyder and I worked on a grant. It's the Advanced Manufacturing Talent Investment Program grant from the state. We worked on that this past year and awarded it in the amount of roughly around $232,000. And with that money, we purchased 4 new CNC pieces of machinery, 2 Haas super mini mills, and 2 Haas lathes with that, and then tooling that goes with it as well. But I will let them speak a little more detail about everything. So I'll hand it over to them. Thank you all. Appreciate all your support. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Derek Snyder, for anybody that doesn't know me. Hopefully everybody does by this point. I'm the instructor at the Tech Center for Precision Machining Technology, and I brought with me today Nolan Epling and Samuel Vaden. They're 2 senior students. I've been the instructor at the Tech Center for about 10 years now, and the last couple of years we've had the opportunity with a lot of help from Mr. White to really grow the program and kind of get up to date with the facility and add a lot of new equipment. So hats off to him. He's been the biggest part of getting us all the new equipment, all the tooling to work with, getting us kind of up in the new age of machining. The guys here did some checking with Miss Tickle and found out you got a Christmas tree, so they were able to put together a CAD program on a computer and machine a little Christmas ornament to add to your tree. And they're going to give a quick presentation on what CNC machining is and how the program is kind of made, consisted, and I'll turn it over to them. Sounds good. You have the slideshow.
Slides down there, minimized down the bottom if you.
Come on, like Savvy.
You can start with that when we get to the CNC part. We'll
So, like they said, we're from the Machining and Technology program. Been really lucky to be able to get to work with these new technologies and stuff like that to kind of get more educated within the modern workforce. For example, a lot of machines that you see before are going to be more manual and stuff like the older days, but with the grants and everything, we've been lucky enough to be able to get our hands on with the new machines and everything. We've been able to work with new technology to be able to make things like the ornament that we put together for y'all, and to just write programs to just make jobs easier, and it just gives us a better knowledge of going into the new world of machining rather than the old. So we just got really lucky to be able to.
And for reference, that ornament would not be able to be made with manual machines. There's letter engravings on there, and a lot of that's with the CNC equipment, which is controlled by these computers here. And you have a slide for that?
Yeah.
So a lot of our new equipment is, instead of manual machining where you're manually turning, moving your axes and cutting, straight line paths and stuff, we can cut a lot of intricate stuff, a lot of detailed stuff with this new CNC stuff. And so the Haas brand that we have has sent us some little desktop trainers almost. And so basically we can go along in here and we can write our programs, which is in here, and it's called G code. And so we have various codes that mean different things, like on here, G54 are your work offsets. So it's where everything measured from. And then in other places you have your graphics here, and so you can kind of design it all and it'll show you what it's going to look like right there. And so in order to make that work, we use a computer and we use CAD software to design it. It makes it a lot easier, and I don't know how long it would take to do that without the software. But once we put it over there into the machine, we just load it on. We can hit graphics for an example here, and we hit cycle start. And it'll run it. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but it is drawing it out at the moment. And that is a little faster than real time, but that's how it would work.
How long did it take us?
I got the program down for those Christmas stars, I got it down for about 15 minutes. It'll cut it out. And so with a lot of the new technology with, there's a thing called, setting your offsets requires probing. And basically it tells the machine where your part is, so that way it can know where to cut. And so a lot of the new thing, there's a new piece of technology that's come out. It looks like this, and so this right here will come in and it'll touch different parts and tell the machine, where everything is. And obviously that still requires some setup, but not nearly as much as a manual indicator. And then this here is a tool offset measure. And so these are your tools inside of this is for a mill. And these are your tools, and they'll come down and basically it'll measure how long they are and how wide they are, and then you're ready to go. If you have everything locked in to the machine and you have your probe, everything is set with offsets, and you're ready to go. And that's the beauty of a lot of these new machines, is how simple and how quickly you can get working with those.
Yeah. I mean, the best part about this is with something like that, to start off it would be impossible. But to say machining something like
just the shape
of that,
yeah.
Even something close to that, or giving something like more in-depth dimensions and everything like that, it would take so much longer to do that on anything manual, whether it's to draw it up on a MasterCAD program or something like that, and put it in a thumb drive and be able to use one of these, and then it knocks off days of time.
Yeah, like I said, that was about 15 minutes, and normally the letters would be impossible, but if you're just to cut out the shape, it'd take you a couple of days.
Yeah, it'd be
a couple of days for sure.
So, essentially, like we said with the production and everything, I mean, you can use this type of stuff for whatever. I mean, automobile companies use it to mass produce different parts for
engine components, axles, drive shafts,
anything. And then like equipment, you can like blades, anything you need.
Yeah, we worked on a lot of metal bushings for different things as well. So even your smartphone case, a lot of them, I don't know if they're advertised as titanium now, but a lot of your smartphone cases are machined. Actually, all of your smartphone cases are machined, a precision machine job, and with this technology. That's
more in-depth G codes. I mean, a few specific ones that are like mostly important would be your part offsets.
G54.
G54 through G59 would be setting your offsets for.
Which is where it takes measurements from in order to know where the part is.
Which that works off of like when you're probing and everything like that. It'll work off what you need to do. So
yeah, machine will
essentially how the program runs.
That's all we have.
I mean, it's really just a lot of in-depth numbers and math and calculations and stuff like that.
A lot of them.
Yeah. Like what you was working on a golf cart part or whatever the other day, like for a switch for when you're switching gears in your golf cart, like it goes inside of the case or whatever. Inside
transfer case.
Yeah, transfer case inside of it.
And it took a lot of radius. It took the majority of it was the math.
Yeah.
But then and it used to be the majority would be making it. But now, as long as you know the math, you can plug it in. It's ready to go. Ready to go.
Sounds like you've had a lot of fun with that.
Oh yeah, I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, the best part about this is, I mean, with these simulators, which we don't really use these simulators too much
We've been
because
mainly on the big machines.
as long as you have it down on the computer, you can safely plug it into the machine. And if it detects it, or when it's like it'll go off your offsets and your probes. And if it detects it, it'll mess up or run into some. It'll say collision detected or something like that.
Yeah, so in this graphic here, it'll make sure it's even possible to machine. And so it'll go through and check for different codes. A lot of our programs will put in like an A code, which is for our fourth axis tool holding, which we just recently got. We haven't got to play with it yet, but it's going to be really cool. And but there's A codes that the program puts in, and it'll go through. And if you hit graphic and then cycle start here, it'll run through there, and it'll find all of any errors that there are. And obviously, this program has been proofed, and so there's no errors in it. But it would flag it. It would do it would give you an error right there.
And honestly, I think on top of learning on top of learning with this and stuff in the shop, I think it's been a really big benefit. Honestly, we have to say a big thank you to Tanya and Mr. White over here. They put together an internship program for us this year, and we've been really lucky to have it. It's
a lot.
propelled me and Samuel, I know, for example, tons more than we would have been learning in the shop. Like, we've learned so, like for example, tools like this and stuff like this, we hardly ever get to use stuff like this in the shop just because of the stuff of parts and like caliber of work that we do in there. But with our internships and everything like that, it's been able to.
We make coal mining equipment parts, dump truck parts, and you get to use a lot of the big industrial production stuff.
Which helps a lot.
Awesome.
So what's your goal after school? Are you going to go further and work on this more? And
I plan to, yes. I plan to go to New River with the ACE program and
Right.
continue into this.
that's great.
Okay. Is that all you have? You good?
Is there any questions?
Yeah, you guys have any
I
questions?
know we went kind of fast and it was a little bit all.
There's so much.
There's
you
a
have to
lot of
cover.
stuff. I mean, there's so
Yeah.
much different codes and
You could talk for
factors.
days.
You could honestly sit here and give a presentation about each one all day.
So you don't like the programs? I'm sorry, Jay.
No, go on. I just want to tell them, I believe they've got the plan.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we do.
So you do a lot of writing programs and
Yes, we do a lot of, we don't do a whole lot of program writing right on the machine. A lot of it, if we're cutting just simple facing, stuff like that, we could, but a lot of the stuff we use on CNC equipment is just really detailed, really has to be very precise and accurate. And so we have to use it on a CAD software and use a lot of math in that.
so you got to be pretty good in math.
Yes, ma'am.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Out for me.
Any other questions? You guys good?
Thank you. Good job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
You pull your thing out.
Y'all are more than welcome to come out anytime and see the shop. It's pretty impressive to see the machinery out there now, so.
Great job.
I went there last week.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce Caitlin Thorne from Giles High School and let her share what she has to share for Giles High School this evening.
All right. Let me just get the setup. Send it to myself. That's why it's taking a little bit. If it's popping up. It might work on it. Okay. All right. Hello. So I'm Caitlin Thorne, as you know, from Giles High School. This is my first year doing STEM. And I know STEM's new for a lot of the school. So this is kind of like, just kind of testing the waters out for this year. So I work with 8th graders to 12th graders. We focus on STEM careers as each goal that I have for each one of my units that I have. My biggest thing is my students work in groups to build on their communication and their collaboration skills, especially because a lot of them, my 12th graders, are going to go out into the workforce. And a lot of my learning is hands-on learning, whether it's group work, projects, or labs. Are you ready? Okay, so I wanted to show you, so this is how my classroom is laid out. It's a little different from some of the other ones. I have 4 tables, big giant work tables for the students. I was very fortunate that through Donor Choose, I got some furniture donated, especially the metal shelves, which really help the students when they're not finished with their work, put their stuff up so other students that can come in can kind of see what's going on. We also have 10 MacBooks along the wall there that students are allowed to use. I have the Glowforge laser cutter, 2 3D printers. One is a 2 Pro, the other one is a 3 Pro. I also have a poster board printer that the students have and a view board in the front of the room. And I'm pretty proud of, over in this corner, it's called my Makerspace. So that one was really fortunate for the Reduce, Reuse, Recycle Center in Christiansburg. Helped me build that with a lot of reused material. There's hot glue guns on there, there's drills on there, there's all different types of materials for my students to use to build things, whatever we're going to be doing. And you'll see a lot of that we're going to do. So that's my room. It's pretty. So the first unit we did was coding, and students worked on either code.org, Apple Swift, or Spheros. There's over 6,000 coding languages just in English. So we had to go through a lot of some of the coding, and that's where code.org really helped, where I could monitor, and we went over C++, Python, and JavaScript. Apple Swift was great because the other thing I have in my room is I have 20 iPads for my students to use, and they were actually able to use the Apple Swift and work on a different form of coding where it wasn't block coding. They actually were able to write it in. The same with Spheros. So when we went to Spheros, they were able to do different things, and that bridged us into, and I'll show you some of the pictures. Here's some of the kids working in the room. They were building different things. Here's the Sphero where they had certain material they were given, and they were told they had to make a maze. However they wanted to make a maze, from start to finish, they had to have different blocks. Here they are out in the hallway, because one of the things they did in Spheros was they had to build a chariot. We learned about the Roman Empire and how they had to build chariots, and then they raced them down the hallway. There was a lot of collision. And then the top 2 is where they got to be like Pablo Picasso or Jason Pollock, and they got to paint with the Spheros. So they programmed them and used different colors, and they were able to make different designs that they wanted. So that's some of the stuff in coding. And also they got to do a meat box, which I'll show you. So the next unit we went into was called engineering. This was a big one that I try to do with my students. So we touched on biomedical engineering, mechanical engineering, and we went over Newton's law because a lot of engineers have to face that. So here's some of the pictures. The top right one is 20 iPads. So my students were given 2 pieces of paper and tape, and they had to build a platform to hold as many iPads. And this little thing held all of them. So that started the design process when it came to engineering, was I have a problem. How do we make it? So here was the problem. You only had 2 pieces of paper. And you could see they took it and they can manipulate it any way they wanted, but they were only allowed to have 2 pieces of paper. The next 2 was when we went into it, I gave them an egg and said, okay, we're going to throw it off the bleachers there, make it safely land. They thought that was fun. So they had fun building stuff to kind of make the egg land safely. Then here we talked about Newton's law, and we had the first law of Newton. They got to play Jenga. And then here's other little labs that they got to do. As you can tell, the kids like getting on the table and building their tower as they get really high in the air. They had a lot of fun doing that. And then the last part we did was we talked about, because there's a lot of science with engineering, physics. So they got to make their own roller coaster where they had the marble run through it. First thing they had to do was build a blueprint. They had to have a theme, and they had to have a consistent curve. They did research on each type of roller coaster because there's 3 different types, and then they got to design it in their group. And then in engineering, we started 3D printing. So here are, I'll show you. A student of mine loves chess. So we started 3D printing chess pieces. So they learned about the machine that we have, the raised printer. They learned how to load and unload the material, how to troubleshoot the material, the different software for the material, and also easier to use software like Tinkercad, so that way they're able to design. So a student had that, and they started designing that. and I've also put in pictures of some of the other things that the students have made. We made a trailer hitch. That was pretty neat. They like to make snakes, dragons. Up there, that was part of a video game that a student really wanted to make that attached to a drone. He had a drone at home, but he wanted this piece. So it took 4 days. We came up with the design, and he built it. This was just a picture, and then here's some of the other stuff the students have made. And here's some more stuff. So this white piece up here, I don't know if you can kind of see it. I also have Miss Reese's class on Wednesday, who's part of the public speaking NRCC, come in. They, of course, learned all about 3D printing. And the student was like, I play a trumpet, but I really want to play this instrument without buying a new one. So we 3D printed the new piece so that way she could play different instruments with that one piece. So it was pretty neat that the student was like, I want to try this. So she got to try that out. So this was some of the stuff that they also made in their class. So right now we're on circuits. So my students right now, they made, let me see, I don't have the picture of it, but so they made Christmas cards for their teachers. And they circuited so that way when they pushed the button, it lit up. So that was pretty neat. But this is the new thing that they're making. It is a pinball machine. So the first thing they had to do was come up with a blueprint. And then we 3D printed the parts. We laser cutted the bumpers. They laser cutted the board. And they're making this all from scratch. This is week 2 of them building it. So they have corner swoops. They have the maker space section. So I took everything we've done so far this year, and that's their big project that they're working on together. So it was pretty neat. And, okay, so this was one of the drafts that one of the students made, was a Harry Potter blueprint. I thought that was pretty neat. Here's them working together, and that's the beginning phases of that one that they have. A lot of the pieces, this is the paddles that go on the bottom to the flippers that they have. These are all 3D printed that the students made. Right now we're in a design phase where the screws that Miss Thorne buys aren't long enough. So back to Walmart and Lowe's again. All right, so the other thing that I have is the STEM shop. And this is where I've gotten a lot of ideas to make things out for the public, so that way we can have revenue come back into the STEM program itself. So we have some LED lights, some Stanley toppers, and everything that is made, I put back into the classroom, whether it's buying supplies for my students to make, or any new material or a new device that we may need. So here's some of the stuff that we have made. We've made 40 ounces and 30 ounce Stanley toppers. Those are pretty popular. The LED lights, we personalize them, and we make them for everybody who has them. Like I said, all the proceeds go back into the classroom for my students to try different things and new things. And that's it. Any questions? Yeah, here's another ornament a student made that they laser cut, and then they got to paint it. So we have a lot of really neat tools and new things that we have. A lot of students are very excited, especially for next year, because I've got a game plan for next year of different courses, and there are certain times that I want to try to get more students in so that way they can see and do a lot of the stuff. So, yeah.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I'll bring the pinball machine.
If it's broken, it's her fault. Amanda.
Yeah, you want to bring them when you get them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all.
All right.
It's crazy the stuff they can make.
It is, isn't it?
Yes, I mean the details.
Ornaments and stuff.
Yes, that is so neat.
Thank you, Caitlin. That's excellent. Excellent work.
Students really like it, and I really like it too.
Mrs. Thorne, do you want
How many students do you have, Kayla?
So my first period class, I have about 7, and I have 17 in my 8th period class.
I would think that's going to continue to grow when people start seeing all this.
Yes, so that's the big thing, is I try to get a lot of it out there. Oh, my chess piece. My student will be very upset.
Thank you. Good job.
Take all them with you.
Yeah. I'll be happy.
All right. Well, moving on, the next item on our agenda is public comments. And if anybody here that wants to speak that hasn't signed up, they can do so. But right now we have Miss Mindy Schrader. So just to remind everyone, we've got 4 minutes and, I think everyone knows the rules.
Do you want her to
I'm sorry, but we're going to give you 4 minutes. If people want to speak, they can show up themselves to speak. That's kind of how we treated it through COVID and everything else. So. Now, if she's got something she wants to present to the board, we'll read it if you give it.
I'll give it to you.
Okay.
I know what it is. She's in Dublin with the boys.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Whenever you start.
Do you want me to wait on this?
Sorry. I've got this problem of multitasking, so.
Are you good?
No.
Okay.
I'm a guy. We don't multitask well.
Okay, as you guys already know, my name's Cindy Schrader, and I'm here to speak in defense of the CBI program, special education for children in general, and the handling of the situation that you guys may not be aware of. First, let me state that a committee has been formed where 3 of the implementing members would like to set up a meeting with the 5 school board members. So I assume that might be an easy thing to accomplish. But I'll also be speaking on behalf of Dakota Schrader, who, yes, is my son, but he is also a dang good special education teacher that I feel like was harassed until he felt the only option to keep his kids from being put in the middle was to resign. When trying to move his class to another school backfired, it just couldn't be let go. Weeks before his graduation, he was informed that he'd been entered into the wrong provisional. Instead of special education, he was entered into general education. And after all that talk at one of the previous board meetings about the chain of command that was supposed to go both ways, we all know that did not happen. Individuals in a position that required the knowledge of chain of command met the way they were asked to. Basically, they got one sentence out and were told they could not speak about situations involving personnel. They never mentioned personnel. They wanted to know the proper procedures that we were told would be given. So now let's get to the kicker. Dakota Schrader was put on administrative leave where the proper procedures were not followed at all. As a matter of fact, just a few weeks before his contract was renewed and he had 3 years of perfect reviews. He was on a provisional, which is a learning experience. Teachers that are on provisionals are learning and look to others to assist when and if they do something wrong. You have lost how many education teachers, special education teachers, over the past few years? As a matter of fact, Nares High School did not even have a special education teacher in so many years. You lost one at Eastern and one at Macy just to start. If you find the common denominator, then maybe the students that need and require the most will prosper and become successful adults. You lost one heck of a special education teacher, my son or not. He loved those kids and their families, and he talks to them on a daily and a weekly basis. As I had stated in a previous meeting, I fought a long, hard battle several years ago concerning a 504, so I know the rules and I know the regulations. Although Michelle Thompson, who was here before, and I did not see eye to eye on a lot of situations, she still met with her parents monthly concerning all IEPs and all 504s. Never was there a concern that she would not return your call or your email. I have assigned 504 for every month that my daughter was in from 3rd grade to 7th grade, except the 1 month that I had surgery. She did her job no matter the circumstances. She was aware that we had a lawyer, and she still did what was right. Currently, you have following situations that are being addressed by the Department of Education. The doctor that we are speaking to has been very helpful in outlining the exact wrongdoings. Children being refused proper plans to help them flourish in school. Phone calls being made to parents and guardians asking for permission to withdraw their child from current IEP 504 plans. IEPs must be tested out, and it's the Department of Education's recommendation that 504s be the same. These same people not being happy with one school and asking to move their child to another school being denied. It is illegal for someone to tell their child that they cannot go to another school when their needs are not being met at the current school. The school also has to provide transportation for them if needed. Being told there's a backlog in testing where it would be almost the entire school year before it's done. If a person takes their child to Virginia Tech, they are not to be told that the outside testing is not allowed. Are you saying that Virginia Tech doesn't know what they're doing? These are just a few incidents that are being covered up. Please let me know when the 5 of you guys can meet with us. I'm sure some of what we have will be a shocker for you. I also invite you, those of you that are listening, to come forward and tell your story concerning your child under these circumstances. Also, I would like to say that the timer was added during consolidation meetings more time is spent watching yet than listen to the
It
concerns.
was, I'm Bendy, I'm gonna defend this board. There's always been a time limit in the policy. And
That must have been before my time.
yeah,
Because we were always allowed to, when it concerned the children, we were always allowed to speak until, unless it was a problem that nobody wanted to hear. Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Consent items. We've got meeting amendments for November 4th, November 14th. We've got the bills, payroll, revenue, expenditure reports, appropriation requests, and approval of field trips. Anybody, can I get a motion to approve the consent items?
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion in the second. Any discussion about any of those?
I had a question on the appropriations, facilities. What's those that we real high there, 5,000,006? On seven line items there,
The 7 line item.
on facilities, it was budgeted 3.7 million, 5.6 million. What's those that allocated there?
Was that the state money?
I was looking at.
On the 7 line items there, that's what I'm saying, on the stove, that one there's over 151% there for some reason or other. Is that some of the, I thought maybe might have been some of the construction money.
I would believe it was
That's what,
construction money that we're getting back.
we'll get reimbursed. Just didn't have it on the front end there.
I think as you'll see, some of this stuff that the accounting system, the state makes us use, correct me if I'm wrong, Terry, makes us use sometimes doesn't fit neatly with what normal common sense would tell you. I think that's what happens, especially when where we've got some carryover money or we got the lit loan money or whatever it is, having that in the computer system under the right category. There's a lot of things in there that we'll run into on it that will drive you nuts.
And I just curious if what on the construction projects, what have we spent pretty much to date, or y'all got that pretty close? Or what have we spent to date on?
Well, I'll have Terry send this to the whole board, what we'd asked for. We've expended right to date, Mr. Williams, we've expended $5 million on Macy Phase 1, I think, if I'm reading this correctly. And we'll have all this, you'll have the fund, the project costs, all that stuff, plus the carryover, what we spent carryover on, and what we've got left. So when we talk about it, hopefully at the work session in January, kind of go over that with everybody, making sure we all know where it is.
Yeah.
But thank you for, makes me feel better. Somebody else, people are keeping an eye on our money. Any other comments or discussion on the consent items? All right. Can I get excuse me, I got a motion. All in favor of approving the consent item, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. All right, Dr. Arbogast.
Thanks, sir. I have some personnel items that I need to ask the board to approve at this time. I need to ask the board to approve the following resignations. Nicholas Huber, itinerant art teacher, effective November 15th. Cammie Compton, Mason McClarity teacher assistant, effective December 20th. And Dakota Schrader, Narrows High School special education teacher, effective December 10th.
Can I get a motion to approve the resignations as presented by Dr. Arbogast?
I'll make that motion.
Any second?
Second.
All right, motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye.
Need to ask the board to approve the following employment. Vanessa Boa Ampensum, itinerant art teacher, effective December 2nd. Mark Husband, ITRT, effective January 6th. Alexandria French, Mason McClarity teacher assistant, effective December 2nd. And Doug Rasmussen, a sub bus driver.
Can I get a motion to approve the employment agreements as presented by Dr. Arbogast?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, passes unanimously.
Need to ask the board to approve the following athletic coaching contracts. Doug Rasmussen, Giles High School boys varsity basketball assistant.
Can I get a motion to approve Mr. Rasmussen as the boys varsity basketball assistant?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously.
Need to ask the board to approve the following volunteer agreements. Tanya Hypes, Giles High School band trips / events. Michael Schluter, Giles High School, and Misty Wiley, Mason McClarity, and Giles High School.
Okay, a motion to approve the volunteer agreements as presented by Dr. Arbogast.
So moved.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, passes unanimously.
Need to ask the board to approve the following contractual rollover, RFQ 01-2020. That's legal services. That'll be the second of 3 possible one-year rollovers, and the bid will be effective January 1, 2025 through December 31st, 2025. That's currently with Gwen Waddell, Carol, and Lockerbie, PC. And we provided the information, and for special education, we currently use Sands Anderson, PC as well.
Should we be, before I get, should we be approving that through the bid process? Because, I mean, that's something that's exempted from competitive bidding, isn't it? Like,
We put it,
that's, I mean, I just, it's like design, choosing your design, folks.
and when we're done with the next 3, the third, I mean, when we're done the second year, we don't have to, if we don't need to. But I know we have been the last couple of years.
Okay, because we can,
Correct.
We're not stuck with, we can discharge our legal counsel at any time.
Yeah, we can provide notice and just, yes, correct.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the RFQs? Should we do them separately?
You can.
Okay, let's do, okay, can I get a motion to approve the RFQ for Gwen Waddell, Carol, and Lockerbie for regular legal services?
So moved.
Second.
Yeah, motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Is that an hourly rate contract or
Yes.
that rate?
What
Hourly rate.
What is their?
I'd have to look at the last invoice to see.
They
were lower than the others that we had when we put it out to bid 2 years ago.
Yeah, we before Sands Anderson, we used
we used Reed Smith out of Richmond originally. Individual retired. We were going to move to, I believe, Sands Anderson or something like that, and put it out to bid, and then.
Jim saves us significantly on.
Oh, Jim Green's hard to have.
Yeah, he's a very good lawyer, and he saves us significantly versus Sands Anderson on what their normal rates are. Appreciate that. So, along those lines, I appreciate Sands Anderson's workforce. They do a great job on the special ed side. Can I get a motion to approve the special education legal services bid from Sands Anderson PC?
Make a motion.
All right, get a second.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor, and that's included. There's a rate schedule on theirs, Mr. Williams, on that one. Can we get all in favor? Say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, passes unanimously.
We've been in discussion the last several meetings, work sessions, et cetera, about that gun safety awareness resolution. We placed it on the board agenda for this evening. I would ask that the board table this at this time, and that way it would allow us to have another conversation at our next work session in January.
So moved.
All right, get a second.
Second.
All right, all in favor of tabling that item? Say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right.
Some issues come up with that, or?
We can talk about it with, we've shared it, so just talk about it.
I'll keep on going if I got other.
Yes, sir.
Enrollment information as of yesterday, December 17th, our enrollment was 2,137. That's 2,128 in person, 9 in county virtual. That's a decrease of 1 from December 4th. beginning of the month. We also have 1,497 stride students. That gives us a total of 3,634 students on enrollment. Also want to take the opportunity to recognize again our Teacher of the Year from each school. We had a reception earlier today prior to the board meeting. I want to recognize Christy Gordon, Teacher of the Year from Eastern, Lori Bostwick, Teacher of the Year from Macy, Chrissy Dunn, Teacher of the Year from Nares Elementary Middle School, Mandy Seaberger, Teacher of the Year from Giles High School, Mark Middleton, Teacher of the Year from Nares High School, and Heather Matlock, Teacher of the Year from Giles Tech Center. I want to congratulate them, thank them for the work that they do each day, and want to recognize Chrissy Dunn, who was the elementary teacher of the year. Heather Matlock was the secondary teacher of the year, and also want to congratulate Chrissy Dunn for being recognized as the Giles County Public Schools Teacher of the Year for this year, and good luck to her moving forward. We will provide her additional information because there's an application and stuff to be turned in for the state as well. Want to congratulate Nares High School theater program. Their one-act team, they were the state runner-ups this past weekend, this past Saturday at the VHSL State Championships. So congratulations to them on that recognition. Good work to them. Want to recognize also from Nares High School, Carson Reed for being named second team All-State volleyball. So congratulations to her. Want to take the opportunity to, from Giles High School, recognize Sophie Taylor and Kylie Snyder for both being named to the first team All-State volleyball team for VHSL. And also want to congratulate Sophie Taylor for being named Class 1 All-State Volleyball Player of the Year for Class 1, as well as the MED and the Region 1C Player of the Year. So congratulations to her on those honors. Also want to make sure to recognize Coach Mandy Havens. She was named the MED Coach of the Year for volleyball, so congratulations to her. I'll come back to that one. Want to recognize some football players from Nares High School. Elijah Knutz, second team All-State offensive player as a receiver, and Giles High School Connor Smith, second team All-State offense as a kicker. So congratulations to those two young men for their recognition as well. Also, we've been talking, as you know, about our projects. I need to ask the board at this time to approve the project costs and contractors for Giles High School, Nares High School, and Giles Tech Center. We've shared that information with you, so I'm going to ask you to approve that this evening. For Giles High School, K&A Construction, that's $16,732,500 with an add-alt for $100,000 to do the work in the evening. Nares High School.
Go ahead and just approve them separate.
Do them separately?
Yeah. Can I get a motion to approve the contract to do the improvements on Giles High School?
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion?
What was that? How'd that come in now with the estimate?
The estimate for with what we projected for Giles High School was 18.7. So you're just 1.9 million, $2 million under. And you also keep in mind that 16.7 million, there is more in that than what we had in the projection, more project.
Oh, yeah. And you added the lockers and stuff. Yeah.
So,
Bleachers. Good deal.
Technology Center roof.
Oh, that's, well.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Any further discussion on the Giles contract? All right. All in favor of approving the improvements for Giles High School contract, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously.
Thank you. Sorry. For the Technology Center roof project, asked the board to approve AAR roofing. That was $1,202,168.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve the roofing on the Giles Tech Center contract?
I'll make that motion to approve that.
Get a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Again, what was the estimate on that?
What we had projected there was 1.8 million, just over 1.8.
Must be Christmas.
And I should have probably said this with the Giles High School project, but I'll say this with this one. The proposed days is 150 days for the roof. At Giles Tech Center, the work at Giles High School is 650 days.
Motion, any further discussion on that? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously.
And with Narrows High School, the contractor would be RL Price Construction. The bid is $13,500,000. I would ask the board to approve the bid there, base bid of 13.5, and table the ad alt at this time and allow us to continue to negotiate and have a conversation with ZMM and the contractor to see what we can come up with the ad alt price.
All right, can I get a motion to approve the contract and to table the ad alt to do the work at night, to engage in further negotiation?
Make that motion.
Get a second?
Second.
All right. That, I think we're about 100,000 over what it was estimated, Jay. I think it was
13.6.
Yeah.
13, the work was, there was 13.4, just over 13,000,004 is what we projected. So you're, with the ad alt, you'll be probably about $150,000, $200,000 higher, if not a little bit more.
All right.
Overall, we're in good shape.
Yeah. Any further discussion on that? All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
And we'll bring back the conversation on the ad alt for that as back at our work session in January, so that you all know where that stands. Also should be able to bring to the work session in January what we anticipate the bids will be for Eastern as well, because we open those up tomorrow at 1:30. And then I anticipate January, when we come back, that Narrows Elementary should go out. Macy Phase 2 should be sometime in January as well, should go out. So we should have those out sometime in January. Want to thank Giles Tech Center, Mr. White, Mr. Snyder, the students that were here for their educational feature, for their presentation. I also want to thank Caitlin Thorne of Giles High School for her the educational feature on behalf of Giles High School. It's a lot of great things going on, and it's great to hear from the kids and the teachers to see what's going on in the programs. I'm glad that they were able to join us this evening. With that, all I have are dates that we need to talk about.
Also, probably need to.
And you need to go to closed session.
Well, we've already discussed them before in closed session. I've got the religious exemptions that we approved that are going to be referred to as Group 2-2425, which we've reviewed and okayed previously, but we need to formally adopt that in closed session. If anybody, I'm not closed session, in open session, but without identification of the students. If anybody wants to look at those are right there, and additional ones. As a reminder, what we were tasked to do is, if the students apply for a religious exemption, we are to determine whether it's based on a bona fide religious belief, and if it is, we vote to approve that exemption, and they are exempted from the requirements of education and our school system. don't never.
I can't do it.
So that's not close.
Those look good there. I think they're doing the job.
All right. So can I get a motion to approve Group 2-2425 of the homeschool religious exemptions, to approve the approval of those exemptions or applications for exemption?
So move.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right.
I'm still concerned that some of these kids are not getting what they need. I just wish there was a better way of, I know 90% of them probably are, but we got a few out there that's, I'm still concerned they're not getting what they need. I wish we had a better way, us, the state or somebody, tracking it and making sure they do.
I 100% concur with you, Mr. Williams. I think that there's no review of whether they're meeting it. But again, I feel like you do. I think the majority of these folks do a great job educating their kids, and then that's their choice. But I think there are some that slip through the cracks, and I think we've got to work within our community and within the state to capture those kids. And I do. Again, I give Ms. Mustaine credit for the work that she does with all our homeschool students to try to give as much resources as possible. And thank you for continuing to do that. So. That being said, any further discussion? All right. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Motion passes.
Look at dates.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
To retreat dates.
Okay. School board meeting. Normally is the third Thursday of the month. That's the 6th, that would normally fall on the 16th. I don't know if that's when you want to do that, or you want to move it back a week. Because we return back to school on January 6th. And I didn't know when you want to do your work session either.
I don't mind moving it to the week of the week of the 23rd. The only I'm trying to dodge JV basketball games right now, which won't stay in because we'll get snow and they'll get moved. But the only thing is, if we wanted to move it back a week, the 16th, there's already a scheduled basketball. Narrows and Giles play basketball that night, so probably would think about moving it if we could. The next week, if we were looking at the week of the 20th, of course Monday is the holiday, MLK Day. The 23rd, I've got Newer Valley Community Services Board meeting that evening. So, and the 22nd, there's a basketball game at Narrows. So the 21st would be the only time that worked for me that week. any other thoughts? Again, I don't want to dominate. Don't want my kid's schedule to dominate.
Well, it might be.
Okay. We'll set it the 21st, but again, we'll get input from Ms. Price, and if she's.
4:30, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's.
Okay, so school board meeting will be tentatively scheduled for January 21st. When do you want to try to do the work session?
I guess the week of the 13th. I am good on the 14th, the 15th, and the 16th in the morning. Well, if you can they do that?
They can't do the 13th, I don't think.
The gentleman's out of town. I can't remember. I know he's leaving the 10th. It might be through the 15th.
Well, let's set this, but let's open up a discussion on that just so the board, because I think honestly, it might be good if you guys work to discuss this. But first, what of those 3 days would work best for everybody?
I mean, I have data chats, but you all can meet without me. We're going to the schools and going over the data with the teachers that whole week, but.
Unless you want to do it afternoon. But you're still doing that in the afternoon, won't you?
Yeah, I mean, if you need me here, they could do it without me for an hour or two.
So we can still start at 9 one of those days, any of those.
Anybody got a preference, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, 9 a.m.?
You got ACT on Thursday.
If we can, not the 14th, I have a baby that day.
Let's do the 15th if they got you guys got something on Thursday, right?
Well, did you say data chats?
I mean, I have those all week, but they can do it without me.
I haven't had a confirmation back from the gentleman at Virginia Tech. I know he's out of town between the 10th and the 15th.
Let's just okay. We'll tentatively set that. Dr. Brown, why don't you just explain to the board, and you can get our blessing to go forward with further discussions, and then bring us in maybe in February. But I don't want to delay what you're trying to do. So if you tell the board real quick.
So I had a conversation, or was introduced by one of our county representatives to a gentleman at Virginia Tech. He works with the YMC at Virginia Tech, and what they wanted to discuss with us was the summer feeding program. And I've been trying to do some preliminary planning on our summer feeding program and to make sure that to see what we needed to do in order to do that. Of course, we have a lot of construction projects going on this year. One of the concerns is, will we have the facilities available to carry out that summer feeding program due to construction? Are we going to have personnel? Last year we had some, some personnel shortages. I was getting some preliminary feedback on that might be the case again this year, but also heard the board's wishes to feed our children. So was introduced to this gentleman, Ryan Martin from the YMCA at Virginia Tech. Approached us in the county about doing summer feeding for our kids, and basically had a good conversation, and was going to have him come in and do a presentation to you folks on summer feeding, and also they offer after school programs as well, and just give you a rundown on that. If we do partner with the YMCA at Virginia Tech, they would probably more than likely take the entire summer feeding project on themselves. They would get reimbursement for it. They would use their own personnel. Going forward, this might be our best option. There's another organization out, it's called Feeding Southwest. I know some of our other school systems in the area they use Feeding Southwest in the same manner that we want to use YMCA, Virginia Tech, the YMCA, just because of the concerns we have here, personnel shortages, so forth and so on. But YMCA of Virginia Tech's the first one that's reached out to us, and a lot of logistical pieces to it. Working out the logistics and you know, I told Mr. Martin that I would be interested in feeding our children the 4 weeks during summer school. So we're kind of in the process of working those details out, but I wanted y'all to hear that as well, but I can also move forward with the board's blessing and go as far as you would like me to go with that.
Anybody has any thoughts? My thought is we go ahead and just have you continue to plan to do that. If there's something that you need board approval for, or you think we need to be informed of, obviously send us an email, and we can meet if need be on that.
The good thing too, what we talked about, and I think there was a lot of interest last year from the board, was, you know, we were going to do 10-day, what I call 10-day meal drops. They do it a little different. They do, and I like this better, and they have the people to do it. They can do between 3 and 5 day meal drops. So the foods, it's different. I like having that. Instead of 10 days, you have 3 to 5. And again, I think what we need to do, and what we discussed with Virginia Tech too, is utilizing some of our community partners. I know Mr. Williams and I had a meeting with our ministerial association. We had some interest, but their main question was, what is the geographical area of need? So we still working on putting out some information on our Facebook page. Hope to get that out the first of the year. Parents can sign up. They can just, you know, give us the number of children they have, their address. Are you interested in the 3 and 5 day drops? We can take their address, then plot it on a map and see where the clusters are. And maybe that's where we can partner with a church, partner with an organization, so forth and so on. So again, a lot of logistics to work out, but also one of the first things I want you to understand is if YMCA of Virginia Tech, if we do enter into a partnership with them, they plan everything, they get all the reimbursement money. We're pretty much hands off as far as I understand. So they get the reimbursement money from the USDA instead of us, but they also bear the cost of buying food and personnel and having the trucks and everything to distribute it. So the main thing is to get our children fed this summer.
I think this year, especially given the logistical challenges we'll have if these construction projects are going forward, I think this is the most viable alternative to get that done. Maybe we'll reevaluate that future years when we have our cafeteria space back, and also the revenue piece of it is important if we can. But the most important thing is, and we didn't do it last summer. I feel like as a system and a board, we somewhat failed the community in getting our kids fed, and we need to do that this year. So
I agree 100%. The other part, and I think we can table that to a future date, is we had discussions about after school programs. They offer an after school program that is very similar to like one of the ones I used in Radford, when I was in Radford School Systems, but I think that's a conversation for another day. That would not start at the earliest, potentially the fall of 25. I think that requires a more in-depth discussion. I do believe there was some potential grant money there for, I don't know exactly how that would be divvied up, but I think that's another discussion for another day. My main thing is to get the summer feeding moving.
Sounds good. I think is everybody of consensus, Dr. Brown, to go ahead and do that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like to hear what they got to say, what they got to offer. Bottom line.
What I'm hearing is I'm going to start the logistical process of planning this, and also entering into, I'm sure I'm not going to swear to it, but we might have to have a memorandum of understanding, so forth and so on. But I'm going to start the process, the logistics, and going forward that they would be our partner in providing food this summer. So I'll reach back out to Mr. Martin and just tell him that we've got the blessing of the board to move forward, and if anything comes up, I'll obviously run it through Dr. Arbogast and also communicate it to the board as well, okay?
Yeah, as long as we can reach every kid that needs fed, that's the main thing.
Do we also want to add, talk about retreat dates?
I had a couple other dates for you. Meeting with 2 Board of Supervisor members. I anticipate that'll be January 8th at 1 o'clock. That'll be their first meeting date back in January. So we'll need 2 of you. I'll send a reminder. I don't know, I assume Buck and Mr. Tony, you all would be the ones that will be there unless there's something that you can't be there. But I'll send a reminder out once we get closer. And moving into February, school board retreat dates, tentative dates, unless then you all tell me different. February 13th and February 20th. If you want to continue it the way that we have done it in the past.
Hang on.
My favorite time of the year.
I'm good on those days right now.
13th.
So then I assume then we'll have the regular meeting on the 20th, right?
20th will be the regular meeting. It's if you want to continue the retreat the 2 days like we have done historically. If you want to change, then we could look into changing it, but that's up to you all.
Let's tentatively set it and again get Ms. Price's take on it. I am good. I do think it's a very long day, but I do think it's very necessary for our understanding and for budgeting and everything else. It's a lot of work that goes into staff, I know, but it's important for us, at least in my mind, to hear every aspect of our school system from those folks in that setting.
$8:30, is that what time, or is it 8?
When do we start those?
I think 8:30.
8:30, 8:45, somewhere around there, I think.
Might as well just start 7 and get it done. No.
8:30 to 4,
So I have
5,
6 o'clock, 6 in the morning.
Well, be done.
All right.
I think that's all dates I had.
All right.
Work session on the 15th.
You know what time?
Work session on the 15th at 9 o'clock.
I bet you start 15.
All right.
9.
Mr. Brown, you can come spend all day with us but those days if you like.
We think about it.
Oh. I don't think you would like it.
I don't think so.
All right. If I think if that's all Dr. Arbogast has, let's go to board member comments, concerns. Mr. Williams, I'll let you start us off.
Let's see here. Well, we've been here a year now, hard to believe. It's been a year. There's been I've really been amazed at all the good things going on the last year. We've had a lot of good stuff happen to our kids, students. I want to thank especially our teachers of the year and all of our teachers for the job they've done. All of our staff, all our volunteers. We've got a lot of volunteers that's helped us a lot. Continue making all this stuff happen. Especially I want to thank the board of supervisors and the county staff for all the support they've given us. They've been right behind us. Thank him for that. Hope it continues on the next year. Wish everybody a happy holiday season and take time to enjoy each other.
Done? Well, as always, I'd like to thank Dr. Arbogast, Ms. Mustang, Dr. Brown, and Ms. Amanda for all the hard work they do. Like Jay said, just all the teachers of the years. Congratulations to Christy for being a teacher of the year for the county, and good luck to her the rest of the way. But all of our teachers, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, anybody that has anything to do with our school system, you do a wonderful job. Just keep it up. I'd like to congratulate all the athletes. Dr. Arbogast said all the awards they won. I'm not going to name them all because I end up leaving somebody out and somebody get mad. Congratulations to all of them. Thanks to Tech Center for coming up and Giles High School. And I got the privilege of going out last week with Mr. White in the actually machine shop and actually seen them work on these machines last week. And if you get a chance to go, it's amazing. Of course, a couple years ago when I was in high school, I had to do everything manually. So, but it's amazing how much technology has changed in the last 30 some years. And, but they do a good job, and of course everybody does a good job, but congratulations to them. And, our Christmas card contest winners, congratulations to them. I wish I could draw that good. Can't even hardly write, much less draw. So, and I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas. And I'll give a shout out to Miss Nicole. I hope she gets better and feeling better. But everybody have a wonderful Christmas and come back and hopefully have a good year. I'm done. All you gotta do is say ditto and we're leaving.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'll make it short then. But thank you to the folks who come out and done the educational feature. Like I said, I look at these young men here and think, gosh, they've just grown up so much, but they did a great job, and it's so nice to see what the kids, you hear about it, but just actually to watch them and see what they're doing. So I really appreciate the machine shop for coming out, and for Caitlin and the STEM. And again, like what Philippa said, we didn't have this stuff, and you get to see these kids making things and just spreading their wings and doing things. So I appreciate that. And thanks to all of our teachers. It's the one time of the year we get to pick some and actually give them a prize and stuff. But we appreciate all of them. But the work that they do doesn't go unnoticed. I know sometimes we don't get to tell them how much we appreciate them, but thanks to them. And thank you for Chrissy, for getting the Teacher of the Year, and good luck to her as she goes on. And also thanks to all the athletes. I know it's so hard to keep up with your sports and your schoolwork, but a lot of people got a lot of awards, and especially a shout out to Sophie to get those honors of Player of the Year in all three things. And she's already committed to go to Ole Miss, so congratulations to her. I know she puts a lot of work in the off season, but thanks to for a good representation of Giles High School. She does a good job with that. And all of our athletes, there's a bunch of them, can't name them all. And thank you guys for everything you do, and a special shout out to our employees of the month for the bus drivers in the cafeteria. They do such a great job feeding our kids and getting them there safe. And also, one little thing I got the privilege of going to was I got to go with Amanda and Terry to our school board conference. And I was kind of dreading it, I'll be honest with you, because I was like, what's this going to be like? But it was really good to sit around with a lot of, different superintendents and just people from all over the state. So I learned a lot of things, but probably the one thing that I kind of took about, we had motivational speakers who've done a great job. And the one of them talked about the strength of the wolf is in the pack, and the strength of the pack is in the wolf. So it was kind of just a great little thing. So I kind of and about our attitudes and about how we're reflecting and, what's our attitudes out there. So, it's been a privilege. Like I said, it's exciting to get to be on the board and do things. So, but other than that, that's all I have.
Well, I want to again congratulate Chrissy Dunn for winning the District Teacher of the Year and all the other winners. I appreciate everything they do and the work that goes into doing that part of it. Good luck to Chrissy as she goes forward in the competition there. Want to congratulate the theater team at Nares High School. Miss Orsano continues to do a great job in those competitions. The kids did a great job, a bunch of individual honors. Hopefully we can get those into the minutes, or at least maybe get that recognized at our January meeting so that they get honored there because I think they did some good things. And again, I don't want to, like Mr. Pennington, I don't want to leave anybody out and end up ticking somebody off.
Well, it was just Saturday, so I guess we don't really, I don't know who got special.
I didn't see him posted, so.
Yeah. And then also, again, Sophie Taylor, we can, amazing volleyball player, has had an amazing career, and that's a great honor. We'll say something about Elijah. He's a great young man to coach, and we'll say that and get that in the minutes there for us because single him out just because he's a fine young man, did a great job this year, just as a sophomore. Want to, we approved the contracts tonight on these improvements. Mr. Williams pointed out the Board of Supervisors. I appreciate their willingness. They didn't bat an eye when we came and asked to borrow $60 million, give or take, to fix these schools. But, hopefully in the next couple of years, the complaints about leaky roofs that we see on Facebook and cold classrooms and hot classrooms and everything else will be alleviated, at least for a few years before we have to start looking. And hopefully none of us is on this board 20 years from now when the bill comes due to have to redo those projects as will be the lifespan of a building. But I'm very glad and appreciate everyone's work in getting that done. And the work, again, the Board of Supervisors of the county working with us on that, because that's going to be our buildings. When people see it, I think they're going to see their tax dollars at work, and we'll have the buildings we have are well kept, and I'm proud of them, but there's going to be some modernization that's going to make everyone proud, I hope. I hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I hope everyone's safe over the holiday season, and look forward to ending this semester. I think it's been a great year. Again, thinking about Ms. Price, wish she could be here, but our thoughts and prayers with her. And would like to say I have appreciated working with Ms. Price and Mr. Williams this year. You've been good additions to our board, good perspectives, and look forward to working with you guys into next year. Is there anything that anyone needs to go into closed session about? Mr. Williams, we have
an issue, yes, sir.
Okay, is it
personnel?
Personnel. All right. Mr. Williams would like to go into closed session for personnel. Can I get a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
All right. Can I get a second? Right. All right. All in favor? Any discussion? All right. All in favor?